3 weeks before our son Markham passed away, we were at Memorial Sloan Kettering meeting with the doctor team who advised Markham and his wife Jen that there was nothing more they could do to treat his cancer. It was devastating news. All of us sat and cried. It was probably one of the most horrible moments that I've had as a father.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because when you go to some of these top hospitals, and Memorial Sloan Kettering is certainly a top cancer hospital, you know, they are there to treat cancer and patients with cancer. So when you get the call from the doctor that says, you know, we have no more cancer treatment for you, you kind of don't have a place left at the hospital, right? You're taking up a room, you're taking up space, you're taking up bandwidth for patients that are coming in for cancer treatment. And we were no longer part of a family that was being treated for cancer. So it was this odd feeling of what do we do and where do we go?
Yeah, there really wasn't clear direction. Certainly the word hospice came up in that conversation, but it was a lot more for Markham to digest, for us to digest. And one of the most amazing miracles that I witnessed throughout Markham's illness was about 15 or 20 minutes later when Markham said, I need to start telling people of this decision. And Jody and I and Jen sat there and watched Markham call his mom, his 2 brothers, his 3 sisters, some other close friends and family, his boss, to let them know that he's now in a different phase of life. He didn't use the word hospice, but he made it really clear that they're not treating the cancer. And in my words, I would say the cancer had won. And I'm saying this calmly because I've talked about it a lot. I've processed it a lot. But we needed to now figure out, how do we make that transition from the hospital to somewhere else? And that somewhere else was a hospice facility of some way, shape, or form. And Jody and I had been through hospice 3 other times. Once with, I don't know the order.
Mom.
Was your mom first?
Yep.
Your mom, my mom, and my brother.
Right.
Your mom was in a hospice facility. She was there for a short period of time. My mom was in a memory care unit of a senior living facility. So hospice kind of came in there. And my brother did hospice at home.
Yeah. And, you know, the reason we point this out is because this video is about hospice care and some of the things that we learned. We never really aggregated our thoughts from the other 3 experiences we had with hospice. My mom was, you know, late stage pancreatic cancer. She determined that she was not going to continue treatment. It wasn't determined for her by Penn Medical. She determined that she was no longer going to do it, which moved us late in her game to a hospice center that was affiliated as part of the hospital, right? So that's one vision.
And I think she went into the unit on Saturday and passed away the next day, or was it Friday? It was pretty quick.
She was there for no more than 48 hours. So that was one version. Your mom was the long road. She did hospice to help feed her, hospice to help keep her hydrated.
It was
hospice that, you know, kept her kind of clean and her well-being and made sure she got up and moved her arms and her legs. And it was like a form of hospice care that didn't do life prolonging necessarily, but they did sustainability.
They did. Yeah.
As she moved through it.
It wasn't end of life like it was for your mom.
Right.
And my brother and Markham. My mother had dementia, and so it was a very long process.
It was a long process.
For her. For Chuck, he had ALS, and it was a 2-year process. I mean, every day for 2 years, he got weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. So he was able to have 24-hour care in his home, and hospice came in and helped us. And that was another special experience. And we were with your mom when she passed. I was with my mom and my son Christopher when she passed. I was with Chuck an hour before he passed, and we were all with Markham. We had the entire family surrounding Markham in bed. I think there might have been a couple that had to go back.
Yeah.
But he really hadn't been that active for the last 3 days anyway. But most of us were there holding his hand. And it was a beautiful experience. And we're going to talk more about that. But the idea, the process for us to decide, okay, we can't stay in this hospital anymore and provide hospice care here.